Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Lisa, the art teacher. Welcome back to my table of art. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing fine. I miss you all very much, and I miss being in the class with you, and I want to get back to being in the class with you. And I hope you miss me too. Well, today we are going to make a beautiful cherry blossom landscape with a big beautiful mountain behind it. It's going to look something like this. These are all our cherry blossoms, and this is the big mountain behind it. These are cherry blossoms that are close up. These are cherry blossoms that are far behind. So we're doing stuff in the foreground, the midground, and the background. We're making a beautiful landscape. So to begin our landscape, you're all going to get a piece of blue paper, which is what we're going to construct our landscape on. You're also going to get a template for your mountain. I'm going to send you some pink and purple paper so you can make your flowers and you can make your butterflies. And a little yellow crepe paper for the center of our beautiful flowers. And of course we're going to have a little grass down at the bottom for the foreground. So you're going to need scissors, you're going to need glue, and we're going to need some tempera paint. We're going to start with some white tempera paint and red tempera paint. Okay, make sure they're washable. But before we start our painting, we're going to work with our blue mountain. We want to give it a little bit of texture. So we're going to add some blue stripes going from the bottom up, but we're not going to go all the way up. We're just going to go up a little bit, and I'm going to show you how. I'm going to grab one of my crayons, see if this is the color I want. That's a good color. And I'm going to bring you on down to see what I'm doing at my desk, okay? So come on down to my desk and see what I'm doing. Here's my big mountain, and I'm going to put it upside down so you could see it the right way. I'm working upside down. This is my art from Japan. Ready? All right, we're going to just start using our crayon, and we're going to kind of follow these side lines going up and down, and as we get towards the center, our lines are going to go straight up and down. And there's no neat or proper way to do this. We're just creating our lines, as many as you want. But we don't want to fill it all in. We don't want to color it. We just want to add these lines, okay? Now that this is done, guess what you have to do? You have to grab a scissor and cut out around your mountain. Cut as close as you can to the black line that outlines the shape of your mountain. And if you can't do this, ask somebody to help you. I'm going to cut the bottom because we don't need those words, and leave it so you just have this remaining. And we'll throw the rest of the paper away. Now I'm going to grab my blue construction paper, and I'm going to place my mountain on the paper. Now notice, I want it closer, the top of my mountain closer to the top of the paper. And I'm kind of centering it as well. So I'm going to need some glue to stick it onto that paper. So I'm going to turn it upside down and rub my glue stick all around my mountain, around the edges, and some in the middle. Okay, let's turn it right side up and stick it close to the top edge of my paper. Because we've got a lot of things we're going to be putting down towards the bottom. Okay? Here's my mountain. Here's my mountain. We're only just begun. Now, here's the fun part. We're going to start with some white tempera paint. And what we're going to do, we're going to use our fingers to paint. And we're going to use just a teensy bit of red paint. Because red is a very, very strong color. And when it's so strong, it will overpower that white, that it'll almost look like I'm just creating another tint of red, which is not what we want to do. We want to create a beautiful pink for the cherry blossoms. Okay, come on, red paint, come on out, come out, where we are. Oh! That's more than enough. Okay, You could do one of two things. You can mix it with a brush and paint with your fingers, or mix it with your fingers and paint with your fingers. So let's start with mixing. Now notice, I am taking a drop of red paint and I am going to start mixing it into my white paint until I get a beautiful pink color that I like. And I think I've just created a beautiful pink color. So now I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to dip it into that paint, and I'm going to imagine, I want you to imagine that there's a band of trees right across. So I'm going to make like dots as my guide so I know where to fill my trees in. These are going to be all my beautiful cherry blossoms right across. And now I'm just going to fill them in with tons and tons of my fingerprints until I don't have any more of that pink paint. See how I'm doing this? We're just adding fingerprint after fingerprint. Okay, now let's get another shade of pink. Dip a little bit into the red paint and then mix it on in and see what we get. Well, look at that beautiful, nice pink color we have. We could even go a little darker. That'll give it a little bit of form if we add different values of pink. So let's see how that goes. Yeah, that's a little darker and that's nice. And we're going to continue this until we feel we have enough cherry blossoms on our paper. Let's do it again. Let's add some more red to our to our white to create a beautiful pink. You could even change the size of your fingerprint. You can go with a pinky or a thumb. If you don't have a paintbrush to mix these colors, you can use your fingers or a popsicle stick or anything you have. Here's some more. Look at this. I like the darker shade going in there. Look at how pretty that is. The tone of the new pink. I like that. I like all the different values of pink mixed together. It gives it more of a realistic look because our trees don't only have one color, no matter what kind of tree it is. There's different values. Look at how nice that looks. Go right to the end and back to the mixing board. A little bit of red, mix with our white. And you just keep doing this until we have enough cherry blossoms in our picture. You want to get some more over here. Go with some bigger ones. What do you think? You like it? See how I'm mixing even the white with it now? That's really helping with the foreground, background. See, I'm dipping a little in the red, dipping a little in the white. More value. Just keep adding more value and it comes more and more beautiful. I love it. I love color. I don't know about you, but I just love color. The more color, the better, and the happier I'll be. These Japanese cherry blossoms are so beautiful in the spring. People come from all over to different parts that have them just to see their beauty. They're just magnificent. I got some of that dark red in there, giving it that depth. Right off the edge of the paper. Okay. Alright, so let's put this aside. I think we're done with that. But I have to put you on pause because guess what I need to go do? Wash my brush. I'll be right back. Okay guys, right now your cherry blossoms need to dry. So while they're drying, we can start preparing the grass. We're going to have grass along the bottom of our landscape. It fits the length of the paper. So what we're going to need to do is you're going to have to use some scissor skills right now. And you're going to just cut into your paper, but not all the way. As a matter of fact, we're going to fold it so you know where to stop. We'll make a fold line so you get an idea of where to stop cutting. So if you have anybody at home or there with you, have them fold the paper just so we can see the fold line and know where to stop cutting to create our grass. So we're just going to cut and snip and cut and snip and snip and cut and snip till we get all the way to the bottom of the paper, because we're creating grass at the bottom of our landscape. And that's in the foreground of our beautiful cherry blossom landscape. And once you get all the way to the end of this paper, we're going to start bending some of our grass forward, just to give it a little bit more realistic look, so it's not so flat. Okay, so you see what Miss S did, Miss Lisa did, I just folded some. And I'm going to actually lay this here. I'm not going to glue it yet because I still need to create some of my tree trunks, the stem, and my branches. So I'm going to wait on that because this isn't dry yet. But how about we get our pink paper out and we start making our cherry blossoms. Now you're going to have a little piece, and whichever size you have, a good idea is to fold it and maybe even fold it again. Because you know what? If I fold it in 4 pieces, I'm making 4 flowers when I cut it out. So I'm going to put my cherry blossoms aside. Those are the ones in the distance. Now we're going to make some cherry blossoms close up. But they're going to be bigger because they're closer to you, right? Here's my hand. It's nice and close. But as it goes away, it gets smaller. Bigger and smaller. We're going to make the bigger ones now. So come on down and watch what I do, okay? All right, so I've folded this paper in half and then in half again. And I'm going to make my cherry blossoms that I'm going to cut for my foreground. And I'm just going to start with a circle. I'll make it dark so you can see. Normally I wouldn't do that, okay? And then I want to make my cherry blossoms using upside down U's that are connected. Upside down U's. They're all upside down U's. And now I'm going to cut them out. I like to cut around a shape before I cut into the shape because this makes it easier for me to handle. Now I want you to watch how I cut. My scissor will stay in one place. My paper will move. I'm moving the paper, not the scissor. And it's going around the arches of the paper. And around and around and around and around. Okay? So now, did I make one flower? No, I made 1, 2, 3, and 4. Very nice. Now, everybody is getting this yellow crepe paper. You're all getting a strip about this big. So what you're going to do with that is you're going to rip them in little pieces. I have 4 flowers, so I'll need 4 little pieces. Then you're going to curl them up in a ball, because they're going to become the centers of our cherry blossoms. This gives it a little bit of texture, and it also adds a little bit of depth to our flat 2-dimensional painting or drawing. Now let's get our liquid glue and stick this on to our cherry blossoms. Look how pretty. Nice work. Beautiful cherry blossoms. Now remember, these are the ones that are going to be close up, not far away. And they're going to appear to be much, much bigger. So let's put our cherry blossoms over here for now. And we've got our grass. Next we're going to need to make some butterflies. You all have purple paper. And again, I'm going to fold my paper in half because I'm not going to make just one butterfly. I'm going to make 2 butterflies. And I only need to make one side of the butterfly because I'm going to unfold it to make the other side. So what shape do I want my butterfly? That's up to you. You make your shape butterfly any way you want. I made mine like that. And now I'm going to cut into that shape. This is going to be a little thicker because I have so many pieces folded, which really wasn't necessary. And watch how many butterflies I'm going to wind up having. This goes right in the scrap pile. We don't throw any of that away. So now I've got not one, not two, not three, but 4 butterflies. And I don't need all 4 of these butterflies, but I'll hang on to them because you never know what you want to do with your painting or your drawing. All right, now the next thing we need to do is if this is still wet, we need to add some branches and a base to our trees. And you could do this in different ways. You can use markers, fat markers, thin markers. You could use crayons, brown or black. It's up to you. I'm going to use brown and black. Let me see if this is brown. That's brown. Okay, I'm going to use some brown in the background. I'm not going to make them very thick. They're going to come down. This is like the illusion of trees in the background. You see this? I'm starting with just the trunks of the tree. Make them a little bit darker. And you must remember to go down as far as you can. The bottom's going to be covered with our grass. I'm going to add some branches. Okay, now for the branch in the front, it's going to come right across my painting or my drawing. Watch how I do it. Right across. And I'm going to have some branches coming out of the main branch. Okay, now notice I made this brown and these are black. I made them black because they're far away. I'm putting some black underneath my brown to give it the illusion that there's a shadow underneath. Gives it a little bit more depth, a little bit more of a realistic feel. Same with this here, okay? And I'm going to start placing my flowers on my branch. And I'm going to start with this one right here. What's going on? Oh. Hang on. Okay, let's see what we got. There's a little bit. Here's my first cherry blossom. That looks beautiful. Before I place the other ones down, I want to position them. Make sure it's where I want. Some could overlap, and that's all good. And you know what else is good? For them to go off the paper. Doesn't mean because the edge of the paper is there, it has to stop. Not at all. So this is how I'm going to do these. I love the way this is looking. There we go. And I'm just going to curl up some of my flowers just a little bit so they're not so flat like we did with the grass. Okay? If you can do that, that would be great. I'm loving this. Now I'm going to run one big long line of glue down at the bottom because what are we putting there? We're going to add our grass now. Let's add the grass. Oh, this looks so pretty. And a butterfly or two. I'll add one right here. I think I might put him right on top of the flower, like that. And this one will be flying away off the paper. I like that. Beautiful. And you know what, guys? We're done. How beautiful is that cherry blossom landscape? Fantastico. Here's our butterflies flying away, our cherry blossoms that are close up, nice and big because they're close up. And we got our cherry blossoms that are far away. Far away, they get smaller. Close up, they get bigger. And our beautiful mountain, our grass, foreground, midground, background. Fantastic. I don't know about you guys, but I love it. And I hope you did too. Look at that. So pretty. All right, boys and girls, you have a great day creating art. And one day, I really hope we're going to be together because I really miss you guys. Really, really miss you. So until then, always keep art in your life. Don't forget Miss Lisa, your art teacher. And I hope I see you soon. Okay.